Take a deep breath in. Deep breath out. If it helps to close your eyes to tune in to what you are bringing to your chair and your yoga mat today, then close your eyes. You don't have to. Sometimes it's easier to tune in when we don't have the visual distractions, that's all. Take another deep breath in. Let it out when you're ready. Stretching the breath out a little longer, a little deeper. Feeling the direction of the breath. And if it moves you to join the path with your hands, following the path of breath, go ahead. Otherwise, keep the hands on the lap and just visualize and feel the direction of your breath as it comes in and flows out. I'm so grateful that you're here. It's such a blessing to be able to come together, even though we're coming from all different corners of the country. It's so nice to share each other's energy, to check in with one another and practice together. 3 more big breaths. Let this breath just clear you out. Good. Open up the arms, breathe in. Exhale, give yourself a hug. Contract the belly. Curl down. Next time you inhale, open up the arms, breathe in, roll the shoulders back. Look up from the sternum, the breastbone. And exhale, give yourself a hug again. Your rhythm, your speed of breath, alternating the top arm each time you hug. Breathing in to reach and expand, take up your space. Breathing out to get small, hugging yourself as if you are your best friend. Couple more. Good. Hands on lap, returning to seated mountain, which is a lifted posture, grounded foot, grounded feet, lifting up through the crown of head. Tone the belly. Let's place our fists on our low ribs and press our low ribs into the middle and down, into the middle and down. They may not move much and we're not forcing anything. It's as if we're closing the front of the rib cage. From here, we lift up through crown of head, keeping the rib cage closed. Use your belly tone, your belly muscles to keep the rib cage closed. And let's reach one arm up and over. Returning to center, other side. If it feels okay with shoulders, both arms can reach up on inhale. Exhale, separate the hands and reach up, up, up as you reach over. Inhaling brings you up. Exhaling brings you over. If you're newer to yoga and the breath isn't matching with your movements, please don't get hung up on that. It's not a big deal. People come to yoga class with all sorts of experience. If you were a musician, especially a horn or wind instrument, or a singer, you have a lot of breath practice, a lot of breath control. And this can come very easily to those people. If you weren't one of those people playing instruments or singing or singers, then it's a lot of practice. So we teachers are always cueing breath, knowing that it will be fine for some and eventually fine for others. All right, pause with both arms up. Let's draw the arms down into cactus shape, goalpost shape, and pulse the elbows back, the hands back, keeping those low front ribs drawn down and in as best you can. We're not allowing the ribs to splay out, in other words. They're staying under control. Good. Pause in stillness with the hands and elbows more back. And let's lean from side to side with a reach up. It's a contraction on the side. Strong contraction. Squeezing that side waist. We're also warming up the spine a little more laterally, which is always good for our nervous system. Flexing, extending the spine in as many directions as we can. Pause with the palms up, hands on the lap. Feel your seated mountain, tall and square, stable, centered. Say to yourself aloud or in your head, I am stable. I'm as stable as a mountain. I'm as strong as a mountain. Good. Let's reach one arm forward, one elbow back, feeling a gentle little twist at the belt line, and then switch sides. Jogging the upper body, using the arms to reach. Optional to lift the opposite heel, adding a little movement to the lower body, jog, or even maybe kicking the leg out as if the fingertips are going to touch the opposite baby toe. Please don't try to touch it. I don't want you rounding in the back. This is a lifted tall posture, but our hands are heading in that direction if you choose to kick. Nice and slow. Good, very nice. When the left hand is reaching out, cross it over to the right leg. Hold the chair seat with the right hand behind you. Lengthen through the spine, corset the ribs, and allow the torso to twist like a barbershop pole. Up, 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 and around. From the hips all the way up to crown of head, looking with the eyeballs to the right corners. 3 deep breaths in our twist to the right. And then release the hands to allow the body to untwist. Take a couple cat-cow here, arching the spine, chin floats up, and then pulling the belly back, rounding the spine. 5 or 6 breaths. If you are comfortable and working on linking breath with movement, the inhale arches the back. The exhale pulls the belly back and rounds. 3 more. Returning to seated mountain. If the flesh has crept under the sit bones, go ahead and take your little shovel scooping hands and pull the flesh off the sitting bones. Snuggle them down into the chair. Feel the feet on the ground, whatever your feet are on. Maybe the footrests of a wheelchair, the ground, maybe blocks if you can't reach the floor, or a blanket. push down as if you're making footprints in the sand. Ribs are not splaying out, and we're reaching up through crown of head. Start your jogging again with this tall, strong, centered posture. Maybe lifting up the opposite heel again. This is a twisting action. Our spine is twisting, but we want to keep length in the spine by sitting up tall as if we're a marionette and that string is coming up, drawing our crown up, up, up. Next time the right hand is reaching out, cross it over to the left leg, hold the chair seat with the left hand, marionette the spine through the crown of head, soften the belly to the left, ribs rotate left, shoulders, and then the eyeballs. I don't ever like to say turn your head left or right. The head usually follows where the eyes are looking. I just feel that if we are focused on cranking our head to the left or right, then we can be a little hard on our neck. We'll just let our head go where it wants to go naturally to be easy on the neck. Breathe in, length. Breathe out, feel the strength drawing inward. One more breath, breathing in, length. Breathing out, feeling strength drawing inward. Release the hands, allow the body to float forward. Good. Let's circle the wrists. Nice and slow. Getting into the joints now. Our seated work will be joints. We'll do a little bit of standing work for our hip joints. Breathe. And then the option will be change directions, please, with the hip wrist circles. Then we'll have the option of going to the floor or a couple of postures, but those can also be done on the chair. Good. Fingertips to the shoulders, drawing a big circle with the elbows. Slow it down, tracing the circle nice and big. The more we move our joints, the more they will lubricate themselves. Change directions. And curiously, it's when we're the stiffest and we don't want to move, is probably when we should be moving. Working out those kinks. Good. Shake it out. Flick the hands like they're wet. You're trying to flick the water off. Flick one and then the other. Good. Shimmy. Shake those arms, shimmy the shoulders. Good. Hands on lap, seated mountain, nice and tall. Corset the ribs, lift up through crown. Lift one heel and then the other. One heel and the other. Nice and slow. Feeling a little stretch in the front of the ankle. It also contracts the calf muscle. Good. Kicking the right leg out, point the toes up, and then set it back. Kicking the left leg out, toes pointing up. There's a flexion in the ankle, and then set it back. Go nice and slow. I'm have this thing about giving permission to go slow. I feel like we spent the first 20, 30, 40 years of our life maybe, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up, don't be late, hurry up. And it's just a nice message, I think, and a nice permission to be told, go slow it down. We don't always have to be at top speed. Awesome. When both feet are back, flap the knees in and out. Flap them in and out. Slow it down and pause at the outer range and then the inner range when you squeeze the thighs together. We're pausing when they're out and when they're in. Feeling those extremes of our range of motion. Working more intentionally now. We're not just flopping our legs in and out. We have more of intention, working the outer hip muscles, the inner thigh muscles, abductors, adductors. Good. Pausing in seated mountain, let's bounce the right leg. Bounce it. We're bouncing it up and down, and then we'll add side to side as we bounce it. You do you. We all might look a little different doing this, and that's okay. All that matters is we're working the hip joint. This is a warm-up for our standing hip strengthening. Let's organize this now and draw a sideways figure 8 with the knee. I like to trace it with my hand too. That helps my leg stay coordinated. And our sideways figure 8s may look very different from one another. Figure 8ing, whether we're doodling or drawing it like we are now with our knee and our hand, organizes our energy fields. We have lots of pathways of energy running in and around our body. Figure 8s help organize them when we're feeling disorganized. All right, pause in seated mountain. Notice how that leg feels. Bounce leg number 2, maybe your left leg if you started with your right. Bounce it up and down. Waking it up. And then flap it back and forth as you bounce it. This leg may be very different. I'm left-handed, but I'm not left-legged, that's for sure. This one feels a lot more awkward than my right one. We look the same side to side, but we don't feel the same side to side, do we? Okay, let's organize it into a figure 8, infinity. Figure 8 pattern. This isn't so bad. My left leg can do the figure 8. Awesome. Really nice. Pause in seated mountain. Take a deep breath in. Feel it moving up, up, up. Take a deep breath out, feeling the air leave. Let's follow the pattern with our hands. Breathing in, palms float up. At the top of the inhale, switch the directions of your hands, palms down, and exhale, pushing the air out with your palms. So find the speed of your breath. The hands change directions when the breath does. Do your best to stretch it out, slow it down. Three more. Good. Hands on the lap. Let's send a little love to our neck by allowing the head to fall to the right. Maybe reaching out with the left hand. Our neck is an important joint in our body. If the left hand is reaching out, put it back on the lap to roll the head forward and back. Nice and slow. Next time it's rolling forward, go all the way forward. Squeeze chin to chest, chest up to the bottom of the chin. As we're drawing a smiley face across the chest until the left ear is lowering to the left shoulder. Hang the head there for a moment. Maybe reach out with the right arm. That intensifies the stretch. If it's too much, leave your right hand on the lap. No problem. Do what your body needs. Hand on lap, roll the head forward and back. The next time it's forward, let it drop all the way. Lift the chest to the bottom of the chin. Squeeze the chin in the middle, and then continue off to the right. Head on straight. Okay, tap the forehead with the middle finger. Tap, tap, tap. Knock on the door. Is anybody home? Is anybody home? Okay, open up the mouth really wide and massage. There's a strong muscle at the back of the jaw joint. Massage that muscle. Dig in as hard as you can without hurting yourself. Our jaw muscle is a very strong muscle, and our jaw joint is a very important joint in our body. And it's really good to massage it. Especially when the mouth is stretched open, we can get more of the fibers of that muscle. And right now, I wish I wasn't spotlighted. All right, now go down to the neck. Take one hand and stretch the skin of the front of the neck up towards the chin. The other hand is pulling the skin down towards the chest. And we're not like pulling the skin. It's a very gentle stretch. And we want to reach at least 7 areas, the middle, and then 3 off to the right, 3 off to the left. Go back to middle. Stretching the side, both sides from the middle. Very nice for our thyroid and our voice box. And now with either hand, little figure 8s in front of the thyroid and our voice box, our vocal cords. Draw figure 8s in front of the throat. It can be sideways, horizontal, or vertical, or both. A little bit of energy work for our neck, throat, thyroid, voice box. Very nice. Shake it out. Flick those hands. Ooh, take a deep breath in, deep breath out. Okay, let's do some sun salutations, and then we will do a little bit of hip strengthening. Behind our chair, we'll stand up today. Inhale to reach up. Exhale, hinge forward. Hands support you on your lap. Re-lengthen on your inhale. Fold deeper on your exhale. Hands can drop down, head can drop down. 3 breaths in our Uttanasana, forward fold. Slide your hands back up to your lap if they're not there anymore. Push yourself upright. Please pause halfway. The torso is about a 45-degree angle in relationship to the lap. Roll the chest forward as the shoulders roll back. Close those low ribs in, however. They want to splay out here. Put that under control a little bit. Hands up. We're working to cobra, seated cobra. Elbows in and back. Hands nice and wide. Breathe into the chest. Next time you exhale, push yourself back upright. Looks like a box is on your lap. And we'll start over. Inhale to reach up. Exhale, hinge forward. Re-lengthen the spine. And then fold deeper. One breath. Two breaths. That's about three. Hands to the lap. Very slow. Blood pressure in our head might get a little wonky. That's why we want to move extra slow, lifting our head back up. Pausing in that 45-degree. This is Ardha Uttanasana, half forward fold. Hands up, elbows squeeze in and back. Zip up the belly, corset the ribs, breathe. Smiling cobra, Bhujangasana. On the exhale, push into that invisible wall. Squeeze the muscles of the arms, hands to lap. One more round. Inhale to reach up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen on your half fold. Exhale, fold all the way. Forward fold, Uttanasana. If you've warmed up enough in your forward fold, maybe the hands can hold the ankles. Can gently pull yourself into a deeper forward fold. Maybe the fingers can go under the toes. We can get fancy. Off in front of nobody. Hands to the lap. Pushing yourself up. Remember, this is the slow part, so we don't get too dizzy. Preparing for Bhujangasana, cobra. Hands up, elbows squeeze in and back. Close the ribs, the front ribs. Breathe. So good for our posture. Let's straighten the arms behind us and squeeze those triceps, the back of the upper arms. Returning to cobra, palms forward, elbows squeeze back, and then straighten the arms again. Squeeze the triceps. One more. Hands forward, squeezing elbows back. Zip up the belly, corset the ribs. Straighten the arms behind you. Squeeze those triceps. Woo, yeah, good job. Wiggle and shake it out. Water break. Awesome. Okay, let's look at our feet and place our feet hip distance apart, maybe a little wider. This is all a very customized placement on the feet, so we all might need a different place. Mine, I feel like mine need to be a little closer in. So when I lean forward, we're going to do chair pose. I guess that's good to tell you that. Chair pose, which is like a downhill skier pose. So when we push down through our feet, we feel the most strength pushing down, allowing our body to pop up. We call this root to rebound. We're rooting down through our feet and the rest of the body's rebounding up. So we can stay on our chair and just feel our feet pushing down, making those deep, deep footprints in the sand. Or we can actually hover and lift our bum up if you feel safe to do that. Like we're skiing down a hill. Some people like their hands on their thighs, and that's fine. I like to reach out. Whew, this takes a lot of strength. Push your feet down all the way to straighten legs. And let's walk to the back of our chair. Into standing mountain. If your feet are on a yoga mat, make sure they're completely on the yoga mat or completely off. If your chair is not on a yoga mat, make sure it's pushed up against a wall so it's not going to slide. Safety first. All 4 feet of the chair on a yoga mat so it's nice and sticky and stuck, or pushed up against a wall so it won't slide forward. Looking straight ahead. Feet are parallel, hip distance apart, maybe a little wider. Bounce the knees. Just little baby bounces. Hang onto the chair. We're looking straight ahead to a drishti. A drishti is a focal point. It's not moving, and we're gazing softly at it. Good. Come to stillness. Shift the weight. I'm going to turn sideways in case you need to see if I don't describe it well enough. Shift your weight into the right leg. Flex the left foot. Pulse it to the side. We're just lifting and lowering it to the side. The left hand can be on the hip or holding the chair. We're keeping the left foot parallel. The toes are not pointing out like a ballerina. The toes are pointing forward. We're contracting the outer hip muscle. So good. This muscle tends to be weak in most of us. Let's do 3 more. This helps us balance better when we strengthen these muscles, walk better. It keeps our hips healthier. Good. Return to standing mountain. Feel free to keep facing your chair. I've only turned to the side so that the chair's not blocking me so that you can see what we're doing. Good. Now we'll shift our weight to our left foot and do the same thing with the right leg. Flex the foot. Lead with the outer leg, outer heel. You can tell, if you turn the toes out and kick, it's so much easier. But if we turn the toes forward, almost pigeon-toed, we're using a distinct outer muscle, the gluteus medius.
You have to let it happen.
You have to let it happen.
You have to let yourself wake up.
Good. 4 more.
Become liberated.
I don't know why I say 4 more or any number more, because then I never count. All right, let's wiggle it out. Just do a little dancing. Wiggle it out. Feel loosey-goosey in the hips. Nobody's watching. Don't you worry. If they are, they think you're super duper sexy right now. Okay, facing the chair. We're gonna hinge forward just a little bit. Step the left foot back. You can be on the toes. Standing mountain on right leg. And then lift the foot, contracting the big butt muscle, the gluteus maximus. Little baby kicks behind you. Hold onto the chair. Make sure it's not sliding. All 4 feet on the yoga mat or the chair pushed up against the wall. Squeeze that butt muscle. It's not a big kick. 3 more. 3, 2, 1. Return to standing mountain. And let's dance it out. Loose, goosey hips. Get your sexy on. Return to standing mountain. Weight on the left leg. Point the right foot back. Put the toes on the ground. Find your balance. Steady. Hold the chair. And little baby kicks. tone the belly, tall posture, and we're staring at a drishti. Drishti practice is so good for our balance. It's our focus. And we always want to look where we have the best spinal alignment and where we're headed. Even though we're not walking forward right now, looking straight ahead is best for our neck, the spine in our neck area, and the rest of our spine. Okay, return to standing mountain. Breathe and dance it out. Wiggle those hips, roll them around. Good stuff. Very good stuff. This week's apex pose is crescent warrior. Let's start in standing mountain and step the left foot back and bend the right knee. Hang on to the chair seat, the back of the chair. All 10 toes are facing forward. So the back heel, the left heel is not on the floor. Bend the right knee. Bend the left knee and zip up the belly. We want the pelvis upright. And then push the left heel back. It might go, it might not go. It definitely won't touch the ground. Breathe. Feel that nice stretch in the hip flexor on the left side. If you're feeling steady and balanced and safe, hold the chair with right hand only. Lift the left arm up and maybe arch to the right. These are optional. Make sure you feel safe. Hold the chair with both hands if need be, holding this posture for a long time. Come on back if you're arching. Left hand to the chair back. All right. Lean into the weight into the right foot to step forward, returning to standing mountain. One breath in mountain. Step right foot back. It's a big step back and it's also to the side. So there's, it's like our right foot is on the right rail of the railroad track. Our left foot's on the left rail. The back heel is off the ground. All 10 toes facing forward. We're bending in the left knee. The right knee can certainly bend. Tone the belly, course at the ribs, reach up through crown. Feel like a mountain from hips up. Breathe. There's a little voice in our head asking the right hip to wrap forward a bit and the left hip to tack back, equalizing the hips. That right hip on this side wants to turn back, to float more backward. Maybe if one hand on the chair is enough for you, reach the right arm up for arch. We'll arch to the left. These are optional. This is a very, very intense advanced posture. Even both hands on the chair can be very intense. Straighten up. Hand returns to the chair. Think about the left foot, how it's grounded, and shift all your weight into left foot to step forward. Wiggle it out. Dance it out. Close your eyes. What does it feel like to wiggle around and flow with your eyes closed? Breathe deeply. All right, so good. Come to stillness in your standing mountain. Peek down at the feet. Pivot the right foot. We're pivoting on the heel, pointing the right foot to the right. And then pivot back to parallel. Pivot the left foot to the left. So it's kind of like our feet, our hands of a clock. We point them to 12. Then when we pivot the right foot, we're pointing the toes to 3 o'clock. Back to noon. Pivot the left toes to 9 o'clock. One more time each side. Actually, we might have been looking at our feet the whole time. I've been looking at my feet, so I know where the heck they're pointing. But it would be a good thing to try hanging onto your chair to do it staring at our drishti straight ahead. Point that right foot to 3 o'clock and then back to 12. And then the left foot. And then to 12. Very good. Wiggle it out. Dance it out. Awesome. Let's separate the feet wider. The width of your mat may be wider and point the toes out. So they're about a 45-degree angle. Bend the knees. And then push in your feet to come up. Bend the knees. Push into your feet to come up. Stare at your drishti straight ahead. When you're bending the knees, press them open, press them open. When you push into your feet, big footprints in the sand, the knees will get straighter. Next time you rebend, pulse the knees open, 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 open. And then at the most open part, little baby pulses. This is hard. Take a break if you need one. Little baby pulses. All right. Push into the feet to stand up. Pivot the toes forward, both feet at the same time or one at a time. And then heel toe in until your feet are underneath the hip bones. Pause in mountain. Let the breath feed you, clear you out. Good stuff. Okay, so option now is to go back onto your chair seat or go to the floor. If you're going back on your chair seat, make sure your chair is stable. Walk around, sit down. If you're going to the floor, walk to the front now of the chair. Place a blanket or a bolster. Hold onto the chair seat, kneeling on that support, the blanket or the bolster. I like the bolster because it's higher, but I also like to lower the heights as I'm practicing, just so my body's trying different heights to kneel on. And then the second knee joins in, sitting down. We're gonna be seated for the next posture. If you're in the chair, we're going to Baddha Konasana. Baddha Konasana is the butterfly pose, bound angle. You can elevate the feet on a bolster, a block, footstool. So in the chair, it looks like this, soles of feet together, knees wide. So our legs are in the shape of a butterfly. If you're on the floor, I like to have my hips elevated, but you don't have to. It's really nice for the back to have your hips elevated. So I'm sitting on a folded blanket, soles of feet together, knees wide. Find your, whoops, I just spilt my water. Oh boy. Find your, I'm gonna grab a towel. Oh, I'll use this robe. It went into the cracks of the floor, so I wanna get it up. Find your butterfly pose, Baddha Konasana. Lengthen through the posture. You can hold your legs. Oh boy. You're gonna hold your feet. Whatever you want to hold. This is a restorative posture. So we're going to hold this posture for quite a while. And if it gets to be too much, then come out of it. Straighten one leg and then the other. You can do one leg at a time. If you like to use a strap can go around the outsides of the feet and then inside the legs. And you can hold a strap if you don't want to hold your legs. Eventually the hips, we can hinge at the hips, hinging forward, whether you're on the floor or the chair. This is a cooling posture. Any neurological disorder is heating to the body. So this posture is a lovely posture to practice every day, cooling off the nervous system. Let's breathe in the nose. Purse the lips like you're breathing out. You're holding a straw in your lips and you're breathing out through the hole of the straw. Breathe in through the nose. Breathe out through the straw. Our legs can be in this shape when we're lying down too, lying down in bed. We can do supine Baddha Konasana. And the results are the same. The benefits are the same. If it hurts if it's too much on your groin, your inner thighs, when you're lying down, you can always put pillows underneath the outer thighs, like wedge them under the outer thighs to support the legs. So there's not so much strain on the inner thighs. In the groin area. Okay, 3 more breaths, breathing in the nose, out the straw. Good. If your eyes are open, closed, flutter them open. If you're holding a strap, let that go for a moment. Let's all sweep off the inner thigh. Dust away, sweep away any excess heat. The right leg can stay just as it is in this outward bent position. Straighten the left leg. The right bottom of the foot can touch the inner left leg. So in the chair, it looks like a figure 4 or a little boat flag. On the floor, it looks like a figure 4 as well. And it's really nice in this posture to take the flesh off the sitting bones. The straight leg, the left foot is flexed. So if you're on the chair, and you need the bottom of the left foot on the floor, please leave it on the floor. But if you don't, flex the foot so you're just touching the back of the heel to the floor, whether you're on the floor or in the chair. A strap is nice around the left foot, but if you don't have a strap, don't worry. Sit up nice and tall, turn the body so it's looking more to the left leg, and hinge towards the left leg. Some of you may be able to hinge a lot. Some of you may be like me and can only hinge a millimeter. There's no good or bad. It's just the physics of our joints. Breathe. Imagine that you're going to set your chin on your shin bone. Janushirasana. Good. Come on back up from your hinge. Rebend the left knee and straighten the right leg. Janushirasana on right side. Sit up nice and tall. The body rotates towards the right leg, looking more to the right leg, then hinging. The right foot is flexed if you feel safe enough to do that. So good. Janushirasana. Very nice. Come on up from your hinge. Preparing for Shavasana. If you're on the floor, just scoot yourself so you can lie down on the yoga mat. One of my favorite ways to take Shavasana lying on the yoga mat is with my legs draped over a bolster or up on a chair. If you have your chair, oh boy, I really spilt a lot of water. I'm just going to take a moment to show you this. I don't know if you guys have ever been shown this, but if you have your chair seat and you're facing sideways to the front of the chair, hands behind you, as you lay back, use your arms to turn you around and your legs can go up on the chair. That's kind of a fancy way to do it. You can also have somebody just slide the chair under your legs if you live with somebody, or lie down and then scooch around. It's really nice to have legs elevated in Shavasana, especially if we sit a lot. It allows the excess fluids to drain. And it's very, makes our heart more efficient, and it's good circulation for the brain. So many benefits to lie down with our legs elevated. Even when we're going to bed at night, if you can turn yourself around and put your legs up the wall where your headboard would be, like straight legs up the wall, it's really same benefits. So that was just an advertisement for a posture called Viparita Karani. I'm always advertising that. They sponsor me. Viparita Karani is my $1 million sponsor. Wouldn't that be nice? If you're in the chair, it's nice to elevate the legs too. Put them on a footstool, a couple of blocks, or just sit with your feet on the floor. Lean back in your chair, preparing for the final resting posture. Palms can be up, arms to the side, palms down for more grounding. Yogi's choice. So we did a lot today. There might be a lot of energy floating around like a snow globe and the snowflakes. Let's just pretend we're a snow globe that was just shaken up. And as you sit here, lie here, feel and visualize those snowflakes, the energy, the motion settling down, down, down. With each breath, becoming more still, still in our body, still in our thoughts, peace in our hearts. Allowing this settling. This allowance, permission to settle internally and externally. Is a practice in communicating to our nervous system that it's safe in this moment. It's a practice in allowing the floor to support us completely, the chair to support us completely. We are safe right here, right now. In your mind, say, I am safe right here, right now. It's okay to let the chair hold me. It's okay to let the floor hold me. There's nothing to do, nowhere to go. Just allowing stillness. Welcoming stillness. Feel your forehead. Softening in forehead. Feel your tongue and jaw. Softening the tongue and jaw. Shoulders are heavy. Notice the skin on the palms of hands. Soft, billowy skin. Notice the curl of the fingers. Allow the hands to soften. Invite softening and openness in the throat. Chest. Belly. Scan the whole torso, front side and back side, for any areas that are still holding. Allow them to let go a little bit more. Feel the legs heavy, heavy legs. Imagine, notice the feet soft. Skin on the arches of the feet soft. Toes are very soft. Breath is natural now. We're not controlling the breath anymore. The breath is happening just as it needs to happen. In your mind's eye, just following the path of breath, following it in, following it out, following it up, following it down. Beautiful. Such a gift. This practice is such a gift. Feel gratitude in your heart. Start to move the fingers and the toes ever so slowly, mindfully. The breath may need to deepen as we move our muscles. Move the ankles and the wrists. Eventually stretching out long with a deep inhale. If you're on the floor, you're welcome to stay in Shavasana longer. When you wish to come out of Shavasana, please bend your knees one at a time and roll to the side into fetal position. Take a breath or 2 or 3 in fetal position. Make sure your head is supported with the lower arm or a pillow. And then use your arms, your hand in front of you first to push against the floor to lift the torso. Do your best not to lead with the head. It can be hard on the neck. Finding a seat on the floor or the chair, palms together at the heart. Lift the heart to the thumbs, bow the head. May we be well. May we be at peace. May we live with joy in our heart. May our brothers and sisters, friends, family, community be well. May they be at peace. May they live with joy in their heart. May our yoga community, our class members, our teachers, be well. May we live in peace. And may we have joy in our hearts. May our world leaders be well. May they be at peace. May they live with joy in their hearts. I bow to each of you with so much gratitude for that you showed up for yourself today. When we make ourselves stronger, we're better able to serve. Namaste.